for a junco. Smacking of a junco. So the junco came and went with no photo ops. Then two downy woodpeckers just snuck through, stopping only briefly and not making a sound. And I missed those as well. Birds in this spot, they're sneaky birds. Very sneaky birds. Black-capped chickadee. Also furtive. Furtive chickadee. Once called long-tailed chickadee. At least the subspecies that lives here. Imagine being this blackbird. Like, it might even spend the whole winter here. We have had red-winged blackbirds very occasionally this far north in the past. They always hang around bird feeders. And they seem to, you know, what do? They come, eat some seed, go someplace, sit there, digest, stay warm, come eat some seed, go sit someplace. They got nothing else to do. So I guess I gotta sort of be like that. There it is. You see it? A junco. If I get a picture, a good picture, telephoto picture, I'll show you. Maybe I should be paying more attention to the deep willow-tude. Maybe it likes to skulk in the willows. I wouldn't be averse to skulking in the willows if I were this bird. So you ever think about what it is we're counting when we count birds? Some people think you're counting birds. No. You're counting the birds that you see. So it's not the birds that you're counting, it's your experiences that you're counting. I know that this red-winged blackbird exists, or at least that it has existed, and I've tried to find it, you know, a couple of times here. This is not my first try. So I have the experience of being in the place where the bird is, looking for the bird, thinking about the bird. It's a very red-winged blackbird experience, but I haven't actually seen the bird. Is there any way that I could count that? Does it matter that I've seen other people's pictures of the bird here in recognizable settings? I guess to some people that would sound like a desperate man's plea for special treatment, special pleading. A desperate man's special pleading for special treatment. But no, I'm not that desperate. I'm just philosophical by nature. I really think that sometimes, you know, the experience of looking for a bird is kind of all about getting to know that bird. I once spent a long time along the Rio Grande in Texas looking for the brown jay. I never saw a brown jay, but I thought about brown jays, and I was in the place where the brown jays clearly were. That's just one example of many, many, many examples. Are you with me on this? Maybe not. But you should be, because just counting the birds that you see, that's not the big picture. That's not the full picture. Speaking of which, where is that red-winged blackbird? Well, I was getting bored, so I picked up a coffee cup and a old cigarette box. Take those to the garbage. You know, at this point what you do is you start inventing reasons why the bird is not here. It's probably spooked by the coffee cup and the cigarette box. Now that I got those out of the way, oh yeah, it'll be here any second. All of a sudden there's a lot happening here. There's about 4 or 5 juncos, and I heard a redpoll as well, and there's quite a few chickadees around. Maybe there's 6 juncos. All of this excitement, maybe it'll bring in the blackbird. What's happening? The excitement of the moment. I could turn the camera around so you could see the excitement, but I don't think you'd see it. All you get to see is my face looking at the excitement. You know, when we did the television series Twits and Fishers, that was the big problem. Bird watching is not that interesting on television. It's just pictures of people's faces going, hey, with cameras and binoculars, and then distant pictures of birds. I don't know, does it work any better on YouTube? Man, there's a lot of juncos here. There might be a dozen juncos. They just keep coming out of nowhere. Pardon me, not out of nowhere. Out of the willowiness. And in this part of the world, every junco is different. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let's just say there's a great variety of different looking juncos. I hear a harsher note, like an icterid kind of note. You know what I mean by that? Icteridae, the family of blackbirds and orioles. It might be here. It might be here with all these juncos. Yeah, did you hear that? Juncos don't sound like that. Where is it? I see it. I see it in the cattails. Beautiful. It's behind me. It's in the cattails. I got pictures. Okay, let's go hang out with this bird. Oh, yeah, it's looking great. It's looking great. Yeah, that's the sound I was hearing. I'm happy to watch it for a bit. On the other hand, I don't expect it to do anything of particular interest. I like the experience. I enjoyed being here. I saw the redpolls, by the way. I didn't get a picture. Or a redpoll, I should say. That's just nice. Okay, maybe I'll spend a little more quality time shooting this guy with the camera. I'll look at it with the old Lights Vitzlars, and I'm happy. Hope you are too. Well, I should also say a word about the grain terminal. I know some of you are aware that this was once, and who knows, maybe will be in the future, but isn't now, a great birding spot. For many years now, there have been no gyrfalcons at the terminal. At first, it was pretty clear that bald eagles were the problem. When the eagles showed up, they just steal all the pigeons that the falcons caught, so that was a drag. But you know what? In the last couple of winters, we haven't even seen any eagles here, and almost no sign of prairie falcons as well. So it might be, I've talked to a few other raptor people about this, it might be that avian flu is to blame for the moment. It's certainly been hard on some of the birds of prey and the birds that they feed on. But on the other hand, who knows? There's only so many gyrfalcons in the world. Maybe they just didn't find this place, this year or the last year. But there you go. Update on the terminal. If it gets better, I'll let you know. But for the moment, it is a place for pigeons and ravens, and I haven't even seen any merlins here in the visits that I've made this winter. There you go. Oh, by the way, I don't know, let me tell you one more story, just because. In late November, I was interviewed by Kevin Ma at the St. Albert Gazette newspaper. Now, that's a pretty good newspaper, and he said, "John, have we got a lot of weird birds sticking around for the winter? Because it's been such a mild winter." November was extremely mild, for November. I mean, it wasn't exactly warm, but it was warmer than normal, and so far December has been very pleasant in the sense of non-life-threatening so far. Almost every day it gets up somewhere around the freezing point, not too much above, but somewhere around the freezing point. And for Edmonton, that's weird weather. So at the time I said, "No, Kevin, it seems like the birds are pretty normal. There's nothing, not a lot of birds have decided to stick around. They're all migrating as normal." And then a couple of days later, everybody starts their winter count, and I realize I was completely wrong. How embarrassing. At this point, it's pretty clear that it's a remarkable year for birds that did not migrate, including the red-winged blackbird. I've been out to the cooling ponds at a couple of nearby power plants, and we've seen everything from yellow-billed loons to Barrow's goldeneye and long-tailed duck and all sorts of stuff. Plus just the fact that it's been so nice and it's been fun to get out and find a lot of the other birds. But you know what? I got to go back to work. I'm actually working. I'm goofing off a bit this morning. Oh yeah. But I don't know what your job is like, but my job, I wind up working a lot of nights and weekends, so the occasional goof off to look for birds, I think it's good for my mental health, and it's good for the fact that it helps convince me not to retire, which I could do in any second if I felt like it, but I don't yet. Okay, that's my report.